All right, everyone. So it's been a little while since I've made any videos, and I'm just gonna be honest. I kind of just wanted to just take a mental break from really just online activities in general. You know, it's not just YouTube, it's just social media and all, just online stuff in general. You know, if you're someone that is constantly staring at screens all day, it gets to the point where it just takes a toll on you. And that's essentially what happened. I just want to just take a mental break, get away, and just do my thing privately, and that's it. But now things are starting to roll back, and I wanted to make an update video and just let you know what's been going on and what things I've been doing lately and recent things I picked up because there are some things that I picked up recently and currently waiting on, which one of them is actually a really big thing. But nonetheless, in terms of my collection, I've been dialing it back on the stuff I have, but my Jaguar stuff, of course, is gonna stay, of course. So that's not going anywhere. But nonetheless, um, what else? Oh, in terms of gaming in general, I will admit, for a little while now, I've been playing more PC games lately than console games. And I'm not gonna lie, my PlayStation 5 has been collecting dust. I have not really touched this thing in a while. I do play the Switch every once in a while, and I do play the Xbox sometimes, but most of my gaming lately has actually been on the PC. Part of the reason why is some of the new releases that's been coming out, I've actually just been getting on PC. Another thing is that thing down there. So, if you didn't know, um, Meta, or the parent company, Facebook, the parent company, recently jacked up the prices of the Meta Quest 2 headsets by $100. And I was like, you know what? I was thinking about getting a VR headset, and honestly, that was actually part of the reason why I got a PlayStation 5 was for VR. But I was like, well, if I'm not really using that all that much, why not get this? Get the base model, the 128 gig at the time, $300, and use this not only to play games locally on its hardware, but also have the ability to connect it to the PC and play PC VR games, which you can do, by the way. And I've actually been playing Half Life Alyx using this thing, and it's freaking awesome. I'm actually dead serious. If you get a VR headset for the PC, that is the must play game to play for it. I'm not even kidding. It's that good. But some of the other stuff that I can play, there are like PC versions that you can use this on, but there are versions that you can play locally on it. And for those, I just get them locally for the hardware so that way I don't have to worry about tethering to the PC, which I actually have it kind of set up. I may make a separate video about my VR experience, but so far, apart from getting the initial setup going, once you get all set up, it's actually really not that bad. And in my case, you can get a long USB-C cable. I was gonna go third party. I decided to just go with the first party version, just because it's USB-C to C connection. A lot of the third party ones is USB-C to A. I wanted the USB-C connection just because, at least for my computer, it offers the absolute fastest speed, and it's actually designed for VR using that port. So I decided to just spend the extra money for it, and have it all set up. So basically, the way I have it set up is I have the cable connected to the USB-C port in the back, and I basically have it tied underneath the little table that's underneath the computer, and then I just have the slack of cables just sitting in that basket. And when I want to play it, I literally just pull the cables out and connect it to it, put it on, go in desktop mode, and start playing games on it. And it works really well. And granted, the benefit about the way I have this set up here is because of the room I'm at. Actually, if I push this other chair out of the way, I actually have a nice little area here for VR, which is part of the reason why. So that's basically the idea with this kind of setup here. So all in all, I'm actually quite happy with it, and at least at the time, $300 for a headset that I can play games locally on its hardware or use it for the PC works really well. I mean, pretty much most of the VR games through Steam, for the most part, is also compatible with this thing, including Half-Life Alyx. It is compatible with it, which is nice. Because at least that way you don't have to worry about having multiple headsets, which that was actually one of the concerns I had, was if I get this, if I go the cheaper option, am I still going to be screwed later down the line? And at least so far, no. Whatever games is available is compatible with it, and pretty much most of the VR titles, for the most part, is pretty much compatible with whatever headset you want to use on the PC, which is really, really nice. So, and because need somewhere to store it, I decided to get the official case for it. And when I'm not using it, I can just store it right there, fully charged up, and it's out of the way. So, nice, clean, simple setup. And yeah, I mean, besides that, in terms of gaming, every once in a while, I would just want to play like a more classic style. So I do have the Evercade connected, the Evercade Versus. I actually do play the Atari VCS every once in a while. Now, if you notice, I don't have my Nintendo 64 or the Atari Jaguar connected anymore. I, of course, still have them. I just don't want them connected 24/7 because those consoles, especially the Jaguar, is getting more and more expensive. That I'd rather just plug it in when I want to play games on it. And truthfully, too, with the recent announcement that Atari did with that Atari 50 anniversary celebration collection, which is supposed to be like over 90 games, and some of them is going to be Atari games. Now they haven't released all the titles for it yet, but even from the initial trailer, it basically has the major Jaguar titles I would actually be interested in. And on top of that, I'm almost certain that once that collection comes out, that whatever Jaguar games isn't on there, because they basically have the emulator that's actually going to run fine on this thing. Because keep in mind, that collection is not only for the VCS, but it's also going to be on every other platform also. So if you have a Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, you can still play it just fine. But me, I'm most likely going to get 2 copies of it. So most likely, I am going to get the VCS version just because it seems fitting. And I'm probably, it's going to be a little bit of a surprise, get the PC version of the Steam version. Now you may be wondering, what about the Switch? He says it's also coming out on the Switch. Well, here's the thing. One of the things I placed a reservation over a year ago, I recently paid for it in full, and I'm basically awaiting shipment of my very own Steam Deck. yes, I am going to be getting a Steam Deck in the next week or so. Currently, my status is in, at least as of this video, is in shipping soon. So most likely sometime this coming week when this video is live is when I'm going to get a notification with the tracking information, and it's going to be awesome. So yeah, once I get it, I think going forward. Now, of course, it depends. Because let's just face it, I am aware the Steam Deck is a much bigger system than the Switch, so it's not going to be as portable. But if I'm going to be playing a portable system on the go like I currently do, I think it'll be fine. So yeah. Though there are some things about it that I kind of wish it would just work natively through SteamOS, but there are some things I'm going to have to do some workarounds to make everything work the way I want it to. But that's going to be more of a long-term thing. But for now, it's mainly going to be the Steam library that I currently have. Well, mostly on the Steam Deck, and just have basically a portable way to play PC games on the go. Sweet. So all in all, in terms of gaming, I'm perfectly fine with it. You know, I have more than enough different types of selections to choose from. Um, I do have my Surface Go 3 here. And yeah, and on top of that, I don't have my laptop anymore. My Surface Laptop 3, that got sold. I shipped it out. I don't have it anymore. Didn't get exactly what I wanted for it, but it's one of those things I probably should have sold it a little sooner while the PC market was a little more dire. But all in all, basically, if you're wondering, this is the LTE model. This is actually the top of the line model for the Surface Go 3. And I do have a cellular network on this thing also. So that if I'm out and I have it with me, if I need to check some stuff online, I don't have to worry about using public Wi-Fi, which that's actually probably something you should consider, especially with the way things are now. I'll just say this. You might want to be more mindful in terms of what you do online. Now, I'm not talking about like getting a VPN and all that stuff, but in terms of using something like this, it doesn't have to be a Surface. It can be an iPad with LTE or 5G, or any other kinds of tablets or laptops that have the ability to have, a mobile network support, so that it doesn't always have to rely on Wi-Fi. So, what I can say, based on my experience with this, even playing like GeForce Now and Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass streaming on this thing, even through LTE, it works pretty well. It's not perfect, and it also depends how well the connection is, but for the most part, it works decently well. And that's actually something I'm going to make a separate video about, is my personal experience of using game streaming services with a tablet, or in this case, a Windows tablet with LTE on it, and basically give you my impressions on that. Because I think going forward, this is what I predict in the future. Now, this is coming from a guy that does prefer to play games on local hardware. That's why systems like the Switch, when it comes to certain games on it, yes, it'll be better on like PC or even on the consoles, but playing games locally on its hardware is still going to be a better experience currently than streaming a game. So that is something to keep in mind. But for the most part, we are getting so close to stuff like this where you don't really need a high end PC to play high end games on these kinds of devices anymore because the streaming technology is getting better and better. So, in some ways, even I know people will make fun of me for playing Fortnite every once in a while, but in my experience, in terms of playing Fortnite on the Switch, on my Switch OLED, or doing the streaming, in some ways, playing the streaming version on here through LTE is a better experience than playing Fortnite on the Switch. That's got to say something right there. But yeah, anyway, I'll end it here. All in all, look, my thing went to sleep. Oh yeah, I did pick up a Nvidia Shield TV Pro. This is actually the remote for it, and basically this is pretty much my media consumption device. So basically, I used to use my Xbox as my all-in-one device. I'd rather just have these catered just for gaming only. And if I want to watch videos, well, I've got the Nvidia Shield. So yeah. Plus, in some ways I can have a slightly better experience with this thing than going through the game console plus, power consumption, and also being that, I can just dedicate this thing as a streaming device. I can just use this controller instead. So, if I want to play something, I can just turn it on. And there we go. So I can literally have all of my streaming services all ready to go. And yes, I do have the controller for it. So if you're wondering what games I do have for it, so I have the Nvidia Games, which is basically the GeForce Now service, um, and of course the 3 Half-Life games available natively on the Nvidia Shield and Portal. So yeah, basically I've had Half-Life 2 already, but I completely forgot when I set this up that it also had episode 1 and 2 also available on it. So I was like, you know what? Let me just get those, and then that way I can just play Half-Life on the TV. Now, of course, I could just play it on the PC, of course, which I may end up uh, at least repurchasing episode 1 and 2 for it. But yeah, uh, those are just awesome games. If you never play any of the Half-Life games, I highly suggest, you know, trying them out. But yeah, anyway, I'll end it here. Like always, have a good one. And until next time.